My name is Gwen Courtney, and I was born in Lexington, Kentucky. And I do have a lot of family history in Paris, Kentucky. They come from there. But half of my family is down to the museum. I'm also the daughter of Joe Louis, the Brown Bummer. And I was at my church at First Baptist of Glenarden, and they had, we went out, when the church was over, I saw all these boxes, pictures and stuff. And I said, wait a minute, you got Jack Johnson and everybody, how about Joe Louis? They said, we can't find his family. I said, well, I'm his family. And so and the guy got my telephone number, and he said, well, can I call you? I said, sure. So I called my dad's, oh my God, wait a minute. I called my dad's friend, who he was his manager, John Roxburgh. And I told, he said, I got some pictures up in the attic, you can come and look, and some tapes. So I made an appointment to go down there. And he said, oh, you got some tapes here. And he said, I'm gonna give you a big wall down there for your father, Joe Louis, because he was history. And they have a big wall down to the museum of my father, Joe Louis, the Brown Bummer.
I'm going to respect my own words and not ask a follow-up question as badly as I want to.
What's that?
Maybe next time.
Okay.
But if I could just sneak this in, what does that mean to you personally? You are a part of a rich historical legacy wherein what your father did paved the way for so many afterwards. How do you feel when you reflect on that as a part of your family history?
Well, my father, when he was in the service with Jackie Robinson, they made a way for the colored to get into the service and have a better life there. And that was back in the 40s. And they became friends. And now my father was buried over, he's buried over Arlington Cemetery. And Reagan and Frank Sinatra wanted him to be buried there. And they said for, I said about 15 years, it was about 8 years. We could have a ceremony over there for him. It's just in his graveyard over there. They had bugle, and we had people to come to, it was a crowd over there. And he's buried right next to his friend, Lee Marvin. That's the story over there. And Lee Marvin was in the service with my dad and Reagan and all of them. And when Lee Marvin has a twin brother, nobody knows this, and people would go over there and they would say, oh my God. One lady fell down like to broke her leg. She thought that that was Lee Marvin. But we'd been over there. Our last time that we were over there at the graveyard to put flowers on, and that's how I met the Negro League baseball players with Sax Page, cousin, and the rest of them. And then we all got to be together, and then we merged together, and now my father is with the Negro League baseball players. This is our 100-year anniversary, and now he's a member of the Negro League in all the boxes. First, it was Joe Frazier's daughter and Joe Frazier's son. Now we got George Foreman and the rest of them. And so now that's our history to get each one of them together.
But tell me, how do you feel?
I feel great. It's an honor to keep my father's legacy alive. I'm sorry, my throat, yeah. To keep his legacy alive. And I'll do. I'm the only one. He has 12 kids, but they said no, he's dead now. But no, hey, he's famous, and I'm the one to keep his legacy alive.
Thank you for that.
And then like I was telling you, in Paris, Kentucky, there's history there of my family. Gary Morgan, who invented the stoplight in them, that's my family. Sonny Boswell, you know, the first Harlem Globetrotter, that's my cousin. Jim Kelly, the karate guy, that's my cousin. And Charlie Parker, the saxophone player.
Wow, that's an incredible family legacy. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Jim Kelly. I was all into that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely.
He died pretty young, too. He had only one daughter. And a cousin, Aunt Nita, she went out to California, left Lexington to go out there with him, and she died out there. So his daughter is out there now.
Thank you so much for sharing as much as you did about your family. Maybe we can come back and revisit you when your throat is better.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's so much more.
It is.
That. Oh, my God, are you kidding me?
But see, that thing about it, families keep secrets. Older families, they kept secrets. Very secret. We didn't know anything about all of this. And when one uncle died, he said, I'm not going to take my secrets to my grave. I got to tell y'all some things. And it hurts when you don't know who's kin to you. And I worked at the National Archives, and I was a genealogist. They sent me over to the Library of Congress to a class there for a year to learn how to do genealogy. And I did genealogy for my family all the way 1400.
Wow. Statistically speaking, they say the average African American is not able to go back beyond, I think, 1860 or 1840.
But I did.
To go back to the 1400s is extraordinary. Congratulations. On behalf of individuals who support genealogy and family history research, I want to thank you and to continue to encourage you to share your story, because I believe that you are an inspiration for the next generation to discover who they are through their family tree.
But the generation, my grandson, he can box. My little grandson, he's 6 years old. When he was born, you know, babies come out crying. He came out with his fist like this.
We're going to keep an eye on him.
He said, well, wait a minute. They said, who's in your family? My daughter said, Joe Lewis is my grandfather.
Okay, so let's transition quickly so we can give your throat a rest.
Okay.
We're also here to promote and voting. This is an election year. Voting is a very important topic of conversation. African Americans sometimes do and sometimes don't get to the polls. For you on a personal level, what does voting mean and the right to vote in this country?
I think everybody should have a right to vote in this country. My grandfather, when he went out to try to vote back in the 40s, he got beat up and stuff.
So for you, understanding that your ability to go to the poll and to cast your vote came at a price, because within your own family, you knew that your family was denied that right to vote once upon a time. Okay. Well, thank you so very much for that. Really appreciate you sharing time and your story.
And can I say one more thing?
Of course you can.
Okay. You know, back in the day, a lot of blacks invented things, and they was taken away from there. My grandfather and Marion Barry's first wife, Mary Trelswell, her grandfather, they invented the bourbon whiskey and beer cheese. And what happened, they was talking and they was doing the moonshine. They did the moonshine and they said, this tastes good. What can we name it? And my grandfather said, where we live in Bourbon, Kentucky. That's what it's called, bourbon whiskey. And I just found out that Jack Daniels' family just got theirs back. And the guy had called me who did theirs, said, to get your family together, you can fight for it.
We have it on record that bourbon whiskey originated through your family?
It's in Kentucky. Many back in, I wasn't even born. My mother told me about it, and all my aunts now.
Thank you very much for sharing your story.